Let us listen in to this interesting discussion between two Americans and Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, expressing their frustration the United States government is blocking the release of full documents on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that concern his record in the United States that they allege eventually led to Tinubu fleeing America at the time. That record ought to have been released by June 1st this year, but the US government blocked it. So let us listen into their conversation about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. When we come back, we will now situate it because they are making this discussion ahead of Nigeria's 2027 election. Okay? So let's watch.
Well, this Bola Tinubu, he's not a nice person, is he? The current president of Nigeria. As I recall, he went to a high school, so he said, that had not been built or formed when he supposedly graduated from it.
Well, yes, college
Just
records.
for starters.
Yes, college records. One of them, he on one of his college records, he's a woman. On another one, it's from a school that didn't exist at the time that the certificate was printed. He was and this is known, a drug kingpin in Chicago. Had to forfeit $460,000 to a federal judge and flee the country back in 1993 for being implicated in a heroin ring.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and heroin funds 37% of global jihad. And Nigeria is a major heroin trafficking through country. So in fact, there's a federal judge that ordered release. There's 2,500 pages of documents, DEA documents that were supposed to be released June 1st by a federal court order, have not been released. And the FBI and the CIA issued briefs asking they not be released. Our government is blocking the release of these documents that implicate the president of Nigeria in a heroin trafficking ring.
That was two Americans discussing Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, John Gordon and Mark Arnold. They were talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And of course, it was a John Gordon show, and he invited Mark Arnold to talk about Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And he started by saying that Nigeria's president is not a nice person. That was an American talking about Nigeria's president. He said Nigeria's president is not a nice person. He went to a high school that had not been established. And then Mark Arnold took up from there and talk about that in another public record, the Nigeria's president was presented as a woman. And then they reinforced the claim of Gordon by saying that at the time he had a certificate in which each school he attended had not yet been established. And he went on to allege that Tinubu was a drug kingpin in Chicago and that he forfeited $460,000 profits of heroin to a federal judge in the United States and flee America after the forfeiture. That's what he alleged. And of course, you and I know that this issue of Tinubu forfeiting $460,000 had been a contentious one. And it was part of the issues that was brought before the court in Nigeria after the 2023 election, when they wanted to use it as a ground for his election to be upturned. that he forfeited $460,000. But the Nigerian Supreme Court overlooked that allegation, which these Americans have also reinforced here, that he forfeited it to a federal judge, and flee the country. Now, that is two Americans having a discussion on a president of a country and deconstructing his record. And there are people in Nigeria who doesn't give a damn. It doesn't matter. And he went on to talk about the damage heroin has done and is still doing in the world. And how he alleged, McArnold is alleging, that money from heroin is used to fund jihadist activities. That's what he was alleging there. And I think he began to talk about that a court in America has ordered that Tinubu's record be released. His record, right from the forfeiture, everything that has to do with him, that record be released. Unfortunately, you can see the frustration in the voice of Arnold. The FBI and the CIA wrote a brief to the court telling them why they should not release the record of Tinubu. The record is supposed to come out, according to McArnold, on June 1st. The FBI blocked it, and he was saying that it was the government of America that blocked it. Why did they block it? Why would America block it? Is that an indication that they don't want anything that will expose Tinubu, or that Tinubu is still an asset to them, that they don't want to do anything that could harm him politically? This is very interesting to try to deconstruct. Why will America do that? Now, my investigation is giving indication that when America do that kind of thing, it's probably the person is still a subsisting asset to America. That America still value that person of being of value to America, and whatever America want to use that person to achieve. Because ordinarily, those who want this Tinubu record to be exposed, including David Hundiyin and Mr. Greenspan, the American that went all the way to ensure that Tinubu's full record is exposed, they have been waiting patiently for the court to order the full release. And people were looking forward to June 1st for this release to be done. But McArnold is revealing that before the thing could be released, the full history of Tinubu in America could be released. The CIA and the FBI filed a brief stopping it, challenging the release. What is it that CIA want to hide? What is it that the FBI want to hide from the world? We may never know. But McArnold and many Americans who want to know more about the president of Nigeria are disappointed that the American government is blocking the release of Tinubu's record. For what purpose? We may never know. But that you have a nation where the president of that country is seeking re-election and they are discussing about him, not from the position of transparency and accountability, but they are talking about heroin money. They are talking about fleeing America. They are talking about returning $460,000. And you can see how John Gordon started the discussion. He said that he learned that the Nigerian president is not a nice person. What a way to start a discussion. What do you think? Why do you think the American government is protecting Tinubu? What do you think could be the reason that information that's supposed to come out on June 1st didn't come out? Whose interest is America protecting? Is it the interest of Nigeria or the interest of America by blocking the release of documents on Tinubu's alleged involvement in heroin trafficking? Whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new to my channel, you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you and yours.